to this story now. The ANC National Executive Committee will meet with party structures in Johannesburg today. This is part, I should say, of its Unity and Renewal program. Acting ANC spokesperson Takote joins me in studio now to discuss some of what is happening. So the leadership fanning out throughout the province of Gauteng at the weekend. Mr. Lekgotle, good morning to you.
No, thank you very much, and to all the viewers at home.
Some issues that I would like to touch on that were expressed at the weekend during the various visits. The president saying that the scourge of drug abuse in Tshwane could in part be blamed on the residents' choice of the party that governs that city. How so?
Look, you would know the problem of drugs. It's a serious problem now in our country. It has reached proportions of catastrophe because we are under threat of having a generation that can be wiped off through drug abuse. And I think it means the future of many young South Africans, in particular, it's under threat. But it's non-partisan. It's a community problem.
The president says
no. What the president meant that they
blamed on the choice of the residents choosing the Democratic Alliance to lead that municipality.
I was there. The question was asked about street lights and sewer running. That's what he answered to, not necessarily to the issue of drugs. All of us would know that the drug problem it's a problem that it's a community problem and it needs to be addressed in that way. And that's why the matter was to go and pay homage and respect to the Baloyi family. You know Jabu Baloyi, who died after he was shot by a drug peddler in Sunnyside in Pretoria.
And
a
that is
driver
exactly
that was
the point I want to
of
come
kids.
to, Mr. Lekgotle.
Yes.
Sorry to cut in, but was that statement by the president that next time vote better, was that not insensitive to this family that is grieving the loss of their loved one, who was trying to put a stop to this scourge of drug abuse?
Yeah, no. The president was not speaking on this matter. He was speaking on issues of service delivery. Like I said, people complained when we were at the taxi rank in Saltburn Street that the floodlights in the taxi ranks are not working. There is no water now for almost 2 years in the taxi rank. The sewer, the toilets are not working. Those are issues that were raised to the president. Then the president responded to say that it's a choice of the party that we've made. It does not take care of interests and needs of you. It was not related to the Baloyi family.
The Secretary General, Ace Magashule, also making quite controversial remarks, saying that the looting and violence that we saw over the last couple of weeks can be blamed on, quote unquote, a third force. Do you expect people to take that seriously?
Look, so far, the matter related to the looting and the violence has not been seriously tested by authorities. It needs to be tested to establish who's behind this thing, because the leadership have called for calm, the leadership have called for the law enforcement to take course. But so far, in some areas, we are still having a problem, and so far it has even extended to some hostels, it has extended to some communities.
On what basis would the Secretary General say that this could be the work of a third force or a third hand?
Look, the basis would vary, because that's why I said earlier on that the matter has not been tested. And for us to say with conclusion or as a statement of fact, it would not be fair for us and fair for everybody, because it has not been tested. But what we need to work on, all of us as a country, I think, is to ensure that we stabilize the situation. But all the foreign nationals who are in our country, it has come out very clear from all our structures, as we are meeting them over the weekend, that they will not be kind to the unkind. And they will not agree that South Africa must be blackmailed into silence when other foreign nationals are doing wrong things, are not respecting the rule of law, are not paying their taxes, are not paying their dues. They are not ensuring that they comply with other regulations, be it labor laws and other related things. So it is very clear that as much as we would call for calm, but it wants a mutual respect, a collective responsibility for both from our nationals and foreign nationals to ensure that there is stability in this country, or else like it's been suspected that the third force might be there or other things. There might be other people who would want to undermine our sovereignty. There might be other people who would want to undermine us as a nation. It happens all over the world. That's why there's espionage. That's why there are wars. That's why there are other things, because other people would want to attempt to do what they want to do if the space allows them.
I must wrap this interview, but the special envoys being employed to various countries on the continent, is the governing party in panic?
No, we are not in panic. You'd understand. It's part of international relations. It's part of African solidarity. We are doing this to engage those particular countries. You can go even to the statistics in terms of foreigners in our prisons. There are specific category of certain nationals who are in prison for certain crime convicted. Some of them for drugs, car hijacking, housebreaking. We want to engage those particular countries that they must assist us in terms of visas and everything, not to allow people to come to our country under pretext of studying, under pretext of working, only to find themselves on the streets selling drugs, only to find themselves on the streets breaking the law. So it's not only in Africa, we'll engage even other Asian countries and European countries, of which their citizens are a problem and a thorn and an albatross on our neck as a nation.
Dr. Thank you very much for making the time to come speak to us here.